After calling Terence Crawford out for a potential fight, Virgil Ortiz made him come all the way to answer to him. Virgil Ortiz has accomplished his goal. The Grand Prairie native's majority decision victory over Bohachuk at the MedLab Ultra Arena maintains him undefeated and presents new prospects for the 26-year.
You mentioned Ortiz, Virgil Ortiz. How far is he away? How close is he to a title shot in sharing the ring with Bud Crawford?
I don't know, but Virgil, he's right there. He's right there. He's been proven that he belongs with the top fighters in the division. And, who knows, a couple of fights or next fight or whatever the case may be, he might be sharing the ring with Terence Crawford.
Who has long chased boxing stardom, even though it did stain his spotless knockout record. He boldly signaled his next challenge by calling out Terence Crawford during his post-fight interview. The much-anticipated clash between Crawford and Canelo Alvarez seems to have come to a standstill, opening the door for Bud Crawford and Virgil Ortiz Jr. to potentially face each other. He wants to witness a fight between Crawford and Vir, not with Zoo in it. Crowd cheers. Even His Excellency finds this intriguing confrontation to be intriguing. Turkey after a 17-month break, Alec Ortiz Jr. triumphantly returned to the ring, quickly eliminating Thomas Delorme and Frederick Lawson in the first few months of the year. Naturally, this caused a flurry of commentary from well-known boxers, many of whom hailed the fight as a modern-day classic. Virgil Ortiz Jr. and Bohachuk, who had previously sparred, seemed determined not to back down from the first bell. They charged at each other, refusing to back down, and each round turned into an intense brawl that captivated the audience and cemented its place as a contender for this year's Fight of the Year in his 8-year career. Before now, Ortiz Jr. had never been...
Forget Tim Zoo, the fight he wants to make is Bud Crawford and Virgil Ortiz. Let's do it. I'm ready for it, guys. I think Bud is fighting number one knockdown in the world, and I want to show that.
Been knocked down twice. However, as the rounds went on, he became increasingly relentless, concentrating on sharp body shots that eventually wore down his Ukrainian opponent, Bohachuk. One judge even awarded him a 11,313 draw for his relentless effort, but the other two judges felt that Ortiz Jr.'s perseverance and accuracy were sufficient to secure the victory, with both judges awarding him a 11,412 in his favor. The Grand Prairie native's victory came soon after Bud Crawford made his light middleweight debut on August 3. Israel Madoff was defeated by Nebraskan Crawford to take home the WBA and WBO titles. Despite Crawford's long-standing interest in the Mexican superstar, Canelo Alvarez appeared uninterested in competing against him. A title unification bout seemed to be the next logical step, given that the 154-pound class now had two new champions in charge.
How do you think Virgil could beat Crawford? Oh, better skills. I literally think he has better skills. And that's only it's not the punching power. Crawford has ring IQ like there's no tomorrow. But he was exposed last Saturday night. He was exposed against...
And the Alvarez reaction and strong demand for a higher price had caused His Excellency Alec to announce that the Crawford-Alvarez fight was off the table. Divergent opinions exist on the fight's outcome. Given his potential, many are unsure about Ortiz Jr.'s future, while others argue that a draw would have been feasible. Here are some remarks made by spectators of the matchup between Bohachuk and Crawford, and Virgil Ortiz Jr. Lou Della tweeted, "Wow, what an amazing fight Ortiz and Bohachuk just gave us," expressing his respect for both fighters' outstanding performance. "Perhaps because I don't want to lose, I have a draw." Dan Raffel, who was clearly enthused about the fight, highlighted how special it was that both Virgil Ortiz Jr. and Naji Chill acknowledged Ortiz's talent, although Chill felt that Ortiz Jr. may have gone a touch too far in calling out Terence Crawford. The host of Cigar Talk highlighted that Bud Crawford functions on an entirely different plane and claimed to Virgil Ortiz Crawford that he would beat the hell out of him. And respecting the judge's score.
In what way? What do you mean? Exposed in a way where if you change up your style, if you don't stay in front of Crawford, okay? If you're not a target to him right in front of him, he'll pick you apart. But if you're on your toes and you throw your jab and you're throwing your hooks and your combinations, he has trouble figuring you out. And with Virgil Ortiz's power and speed and ring generalship,
Bohachuk was able to go the entire distance. Considering how closely the fight was contested, he seemed to think the verdict was justified. Ryan Garcia delivered a severe critique of Virgil Ortiz Jr.'s performance, stating that Ortiz Jr. should not give the notion that he is invincible. When Garcia, also known as King Bohachuk, revealed his thoughts on his second career defeat to Ukrainian fighter X, nobody saw it coming. His voice betraying a trace of subliminal dissatisfaction, he expressed his doubts about the result and proposed that people who knew more about the sport might provide a better explanation of what happened in the ring. Rai said that the bout was intensely contested and outlined a number of Ortiz Jr.'s flaws. He claimed that Ortiz Jr. was dropped twice and that one of his right hands caused his face to swell. Don't act as though you are invincible when the fight was quite close. Actress and longtime boxing fan Rosie Perez applauded the bout, stating that it was a strong candidate for the coveted Fight of the Year title. She also shared
We're going to go back to the hotel and celebrate, because in our hearts, and Sergey knows that he's a champion. He would be here right now. He didn't want to go to the hospital. The commission mandated that he goes to get a precautionary CT scan. So we're not going to argue with the commission or the ringside doctors. It's only precautionary. And my understanding is Virgil did the same thing. So without taking anything away from the fight, you got to give both of these warriors a lot of credit. So it's just for us, we feel that he's still a champion, and we feel he won that fight and should still be considered a champion.
Of many others by expressing her excitement for the exciting and captivating competition. This battle, she said, was straight up. Whatever the official score, neither combatant was really defeated, according to boxing writer Kevin I, a F Contender Award winner. He referred to the fight as a classic and praised both fighters for their incredible skill displays, noting that Ortiz Jr. had better skills in his opinion. Crawford stressed that it wasn't about punching power, even if his superb ring IQ was recognized. Given that Crawford was exposed in his most recent bout with Madoff, what makes you believe that Virgil's superior talents would enable him to overcome Crawford? He is better, in my perspective, but only in that one area, not in terms of his power, but more so because Crawford has a ring IQ that makes him appear unbeatable. But last Saturday night, he was exposed against you. De La Hoya continued by saying that anytime a fighter altered their style, Crawford was exposed in a way that demonstrated his vulnerability. He made the observation that Crawford will be exposed if a fighter stays on the edge of their comfort zone and uses combinations and punches rather than approaching the easy target. In what way is it difficult for Crawford to figure them out? You're saying that he will pick you apart if you change up how you fight, move away from him, or don't directly attack him. But if you maintain your composure and use your hooks, combos, and jab in addition to Ortiz's strength, quickness, and ring generalship, the fight might be thrilling. Terence Crawford recently said that an incredible $150 million would be needed for him to even compete in the fight against Bud, in response to Canelo Alvarez's assertion that it would be simple for him to. Think about the match. Furthermore, as the Nebraska fighter gets ready for his next fight with Edgar Berlanga, Alvarez made it clear that he thought he could defeat Crawford if they squared off in the ring at 168 pounds. This was in response to Crawford's victory over Israel Madoff in the super welterweight division, which generated talk about a potential match between the two fighters. Alvarez was questioned with the prospect of competing against Crawford in the ring during a recent interview on the Porterway podcast. The rising Mexican boxer downplayed Crawford's abilities and said he would only take Crawford on in exchange for a hefty purse. Crawford replied to Alvarez's statements, saying, "I heard him say I'm easy work. You would accept all of Turkey Alex's money if I were an easy job." Crawford countered, "That just lets me know right there I'm a threat." In addition, he declared that he needed $150 million to battle me and $200 million for Benovitz. "I am a threat to him and his history because it is unbelievable that a guy who started out weighing 135 pounds and gained up to 168 pounds could overthrow you like two title contenders with nearly flawless knockout records." The entire focus of the sport's newest fighter is on Saturday's junior middleweight bout between Virgil Ortiz and Siri Bohachuk. The matchmaker from Saudi Arabia, Alec, stopped the more experienced Thomas Deller in the opening frame with a strong body blow. The World Boxing Association champion and recent 4-division champion Terence Crawford may meet Texas Ortiz next. Alec hinted on Saturday night that Ortiz would be a viable option in the case that Canelo-Alvarez talks are unsuccessful. Tensions between the parties are mounting in addition to the breakdown of the scheduled negotiations. Alvarez's refusal to meet with Alec to discuss his future fight following his super middle midweight championship defense against Edgar Berlanga on September 14 has caused the gap between the two fighters to widen. This was said by Alec on Wednesday in an early morning post on X. Canelo said that although he respects me, he is not happy with the way we conduct business. Whether or not he respects me, I don't care. My business model targets major battles at reasonable pricing, so I understand why he doesn't like it. He continued by saying that he has been searching for simpler battles ever since he was defeated by Bivol. I also knew he was wasting our time and making excuses with huge quantities of money that he couldn't afford since I don't dread meeting Bennett's or Crawford. He is headed toward producing simple show-only fights. Thus, I will keep making major fights that help the boxing community. Crawford is searching for a new top opponent for his upcoming bout, and Ortiz has emerged as the overwhelming favorite for this Tuesday's professional boxing event. The former welterweight champion Maleji, Paulie Maleji, TV's major fight breakdown analyst Ortiz Bohachuk, was defeated by Chris Algieri and Teddy, who said, "This is no gimme with this style." Given that both men are strong, durable, and potent punchers, the fight might conclude soon in a conflict. Sebastian Fonder, the current 154-pound World Boxing Organization champion, was supposed to face Bohachuk of Ukraine, the interim junior middleweight champion of the World Boxing Council, in March, but ever since Keith Thurman backed out of his battle with Tim.